Hello, my name's Jocelyn. This video is about how to get a breathy tone. I put a few videos out about the idea, but it's kind of challenging, especially if you're used to singing with a very pure tone. Having a breathy tone is sort of the opposite of what most vocal technique teaches you, because having a breathy tone isn't always the most healthy tone. It's not always the most preferred tone when it comes to either singing musical theater or singing classical music. But if you're singing pop, having a breathy tone or being able to sing breathy is really important. Even in classical music that is more that is an older style, like sometimes that kind of choir boy sound is also breathy. So a couple tricks to singing breathy is to not sing too extreme. So don't sing in the extreme low voice and don't sing in the extreme high voice. You want to be like sort of in the middle of your range to do a really good breathy tone. I would say it's easier to sing a breathy tone in head voice than chest voice. So this exercise goes like this. And what you want to do is the E can be pure. The O can start pure. And then you want to make it like almost like a sigh. The E is just to get the pitch and to get it like a pure pitch, because even if you're singing breathy, you're singing a specific pitch that is steady. And because you're singing breathy, the more steady your pitch is, the better you're going to sound like as a singer. Because if it's breathy and not steady, you're just going to not sound like a good singer. So you want to make it, you want to make it as steady as you can. And the reason I'm going is sometimes when you're moving, it's easier to expel more air intentionally. So and I'm trying to make it breathy on the top O. So we go, the exercise is a fifth. So and I'm going to the O and making it breathy on the O and then falling and making it kind of a sigh. Do you hear it? I'm kind of hitting the O, then getting really breathy and then coming down. If you can sing the E and make it pure and then go to the O and make it breathy, you're already halfway there. I'm using the change from E to O to make it really breathy. Now, if that's really hard for you and you're like, it's still, that's totally fine. See if you can hit the O and make it breathy while you're singing the O. And if that's too hard for you, sing and try to make it breathy as you're going down to the bottom note. So you got three choices, three levels of difficulty. The first one is E-O. So focused on the E, breathy on the O, and then breathy as you're coming down. The level 2 is E-O. Is to E is focused, O is focused, and then you get breathy after singing the O and then come down. Third level, which is probably the easiest, is to go E-O. So they're both focused, and then you try to become breathy as you're falling to the bottom note. E-O. And the way that I become breathy on that is I try to just use more air. If you're like, I'm not sure if it's breathy or not, put your hand or even like a tissue in front of your face and feel what it feels like. So if I do a breathy O, I feel a hot burst of air or hot stream of air on my finger. If I do it focused, it just feels warm. So that's really breathy. I feel a stream of air. I have to even put my hand really close to my lips, almost touching my lips to feel the warmth. That last one was not breathy. So you can also do the same thing with the tissue. I don't have a tissue, and hold it in front of your face. And if the tissue blows out, then you're singing breathy. If it doesn't really move, you're not singing breathy. Okay. You can also, if you're like, I think I'm singing breathy, but it's not moving, use like sing louder. Oh, is really breathy and about as loud as I can get breathy. Breathy is never going to be forte. It's always going to be like maybe mezzo piano, but you have to have the chords more together to sing a loud note, and is never going to be that loud. Okay, so that was my forte, singing breathy, which is really just like a mezzo piano. All right, so let's do this exercise. We're going to start here. Women are here, guys are here, and so we're going to go E-ho, E-ho, E-ho. I'll stop you there. A trick is to put an H on the O, so it's E-ho, and if you can hold the H, kind of sing the H and the O at the same time, that will also get you breathy. E-ho, E-ho. Did you see how I'm putting the H in? E-ho. If you're super fancy, take out the H. E-ho. Two more. Last one. So this is sort of high. I'm at an E flat above C. That's sort of high to do a breathy tone. So if you're finding these high notes are actually way harder to do in breathy, don't worry, they are hard. As we go down, it'll be a little bit easier. And if you find yourself getting a little bit lightheaded, that's a good thing, because that means you're using a lot of air and you're really breathy. So the more air you use, the more lightheaded you're going to get, because you're like over oxygenated, or you're really oxygenated. So if you're not used to singing a lot, and you're definitely not used to singing breathy, just know you might get a little lightheaded. Sit down if you're not sitting down. Let's go down. And I'm kind of sliding too, just to really feel it. Let's do 4 more. Getting a little bit lightheaded. E-ho. Last one. E-ho. All right. Okay. So I would do, if you're like, I'm kind of getting it, I would just do this exercise maybe from the beginning one more time. If you sing a lot of loud breathy, or like mezzo piano breathy, your voice might get a little bit tired, because when you're singing breathy, you're bringing the chords together, but not all the way. So there's a little bit of tension involved in keeping the chords separate and not letting them meet all the way, which can be hard on your throat. So even like singing, maybe I've been singing an hour today, and the last like 15 minutes I've been singing breathy. Even